Hi, Professor.
Hey, everybody.
Hi. Hi, Professor. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Linda. How you doing?
Good, thank
Professor.
What's up?
Professor, I have a big problem. My computer, it's broke and I buy just new and I didn't homework. It's because you write at 3 p.m. I'm so sorry. I
Email me.
can't.
Email me.
Okay.
Email me.
Okay.
We can one-on-one. We can talk one-on-one. Hey, Firuza.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be short. You know what I mean. I just want to make sure if it's about you and your assignment, let's talk one-on-one instead of just in front of everybody. And I'm sorry about your computer. I know I had lots of internet problems last weekend. So it's It's very stressful when it happens. Cool. We got some people already.
Hello, Professor.
Hello. How you doing?
Oh, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm excited when we'll start in a few minutes, but just from looking at the people who did submit the project, you guys did so good. I'm so happy. They look really good. They look really good. And we're going to take, well, I'll tell you when everyone's here. Well, we're kind of starting now, but we're taking a little break. I have a sort of more traditional grammar class today. We'll get to practice some verb tenses and more fill in the blank activities because I know I made you guys write a lot last week. So we'll get a little break from writing and do a little more old school grammar practice today. So I see people smiling. Remember, I'm not trying to break your brain. I'm just trying to push you, and then we'll take a break. We'll relax a little bit. So.
You know, I stress whole week.
But now it's.
I cannot because I'm not good at writing. You know, stress whole week.
Not yet. Not yet. The only way to get good is to practice, 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 practice. Perusa's in the chat, and like always, you guys can definitely type in the chat, unmute yourself and talk to me. Perusa's saying that's a good thing. We're doing a lot of practice. That's the idea. Lots of practice and lots of different types of practice. Lots of different ways to practice. So we'll wait maybe just 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we'll get started. My other Zoom class today was really small. I don't know what is going on. Week 6, people are tired or people have internet problems like I did or computer problems again. But yeah, I only had 8 students in my class at noon today, so. Let's see who else is here. Valentina's here, Linda's here, Mariana's here. Mahova, good to see you. Konstantin, Julia, Lily, Amina, and Lailuma. And then Luma says, hi, everybody. You can probably see in the chat. All right, I'm going to start to share, and we'll get started in just a minute here. My video people, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Excellent.
Oh, nice picture.
Thank you. Yeah, Santa Cruz, Santa Cruz.
Wow.
Oh.
When I'm trying not to stress out, I just try to look at beautiful pictures. Like, yes, relax, Jeff, relax, relax.
Does
Oh, I
it
need,
work?
sometimes. Thank you, Mariana. Sometimes it does. It's better than not doing it. I can say that. I can say that. Or it's
Okay.
better than like going onto social media or something. That always makes me more stressed out. So verb tenses. Yes, more textbook. Like I said, for my people who want more textbook stuff, I've got lots of like I said, more traditional textbook stuff for us to do today. And actually, while we're waiting, I'm going to do one thing. So I'm recording this. I'll sort of explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it. Remember, course materials here. All of my tutorials are here. And I'm also going to add this. We're going to use this sort of these examples today. This is from Grammar and Beyond 3 Verb Tenses. So the work that we're going to do today, it lives in a lot of different places in Canvas, and I'll show you where when I talk about the lessons, the new lessons in Canvas. But remember, this activity that we're going to use today from this textbook, Unit 3, that's right here, Grammar and Beyond 3 Verb Tenses. Okay, so remember, home page, Professor Jeff's course materials. And these are the 3 videos I made for Language Power. And this PDF is here. Okay, so that's where it lives. It's yours to keep forever, forever. And I'll show you where else it lives in Canvas as well. Oops, I don't want this one. All right, let's get going. We are here on September 30th. So here's what we're going to do today. I just want to say also for people maybe just coming in, congratulations. If you already turned in your first project, you did it. Those are the biggest sort of projects we're going to do. We've got a few more, but you did it. You submitted it. Maybe you stressed all week long, but it's done. It's done. It's done. So here's what I want to do. So I have a short warm-up activity just to sort of put down some of the stuff about the phrases, especially. We will come back and keep practicing this, but we're going to take a break and we're going to focus on verb tenses today. But before we do that, I just want to make sure, any questions? Do people have anything right away they want to ask in the chat, or you can unmute yourself? Any burning questions? Perfect, let's go. Okay, so here's what I want to do. Like I said, our warm-up is just to do a final sort of review of these different types of phrases. So what I've got is, these are your examples. Like I said, from the people who were able to submit things a little early, I got to look at some of your work. This is from one of our students in this class. I just wanted to take some time to look at it together, see if we agree or disagree. Because remember, and I'll say this to everybody who's not here too, I'm going to grade your Grammar Writing 1 project. And if you made a mistake in your analysis, after I give you your grade, you have 1 week to revise it and resubmit for a higher score, right? So if I'm correcting these, or if you notice a mistake in one of these examples, anyone who's watching, fix it, send it back to me once I tell you, and we'll give you more points. So let's look at this one. So the example sentence says, through this language, we already know how the technology develops so fast as it opens the new world network. This student said that this sentence was complex, said that it was 1 independent and 2 dependent, identified the subjects as we, the technology, and it. Verbs were know, develops, opens. They identified a noun phrase of the New World Network, and the parts of speech. We is a pronoun, already is an adverb, opens is a verb, the New World Network is a noun phrase, and the is a determiner. I'll ask you guys, you can unmute yourself and talk or put it in the chat. Do we agree with this analysis?
Professor, is
Yeah.
it complex sentence? Where is the 2 dependent clauses? I see the independent clause
Okay, let's start there then, Fiduza. Where is the independent clause?
We already know how the technology.
We already know.
We already know how the technology develops so fast.
Great. So we're saying this is the independent clause, right?
Yep.
Okay. And
Okay. It opens
and
the new world network. It's a dependent. And where is the other dependence clause?
you're saying this
How
is
the
the
technology develops so fast, no?
so
No.
well let's and so this is a good question.
Towards this language.
So let's go, so let's do one thing. So remember, for this analysis, it's a good, I love doing this with you guys because we get to work backwards a little bit. So this student said that the subject we, the technology, and it. Okay, so let's see. In this example, Fedus is saying this is the independent clause, right?
Mhm.
Do we agree we is the subject?
Yep.
Yeah.
And do we agree that, where's the verb? And do we agree that no?
No.
No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then this student said that the technology is a subject.
Another subject?
But is it sort of asking questions? We're not sure. And then they're saying it is a subject. We agree it opens?
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
subject. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So how can be the technology another subject if it's already the whole sentence?
I want to see if anybody else has any ideas or anything to add. I see Mariana and Varvara. Anybody want to add anything here before I tell you what I see?
You know that the sentence or clauses are more confusing.
Totally.
Really.
It's there. I agree. When we start to use our own examples, then it gets hard, right? When we see the textbook examples, sometimes it feels very easy. Okay, so let's start with what we agree. Through this language, we all agree this is not a clause, right?
No.
Yeah.
No clause, no verb. Absolutely. We already know. Okay, and I agree already. By the way, we is a subject, no is a verb. Already, as correctly identified down here, is an adverb, right? It's modifying information about the verb.
Mm-hmm.
So then this.
Another sentence here? Do you mean
I
it's
feel like
two
it's
sentences?
another sentence.
Hey.
Not,
Tell me. This is, remember we were talking about noun phrases
Yes.
yesterday. This is basically the object, right? Because we're going to talk about this. This is the thing we already know, right?
Mm-hmm.
This
Mhm.
whole noun phrase, how the technology develops so fast, this is the object of this verb, right? It, like I said, this is the thing we already know. And we've talked about this a few times because we could replace this whole thing with, right? We could say we already know it, right? So is this a clause or is this a phrase? It could, the whole thing can be replaced by a pronoun. Is it a clause or a phrase?
Phrase.
Thank you.
I
Linda's saying
think
phrase.
it's a clause.
You are not correct this time, Mariana. Remember, this is like, why is because we can replace the entire thing with a pronoun, right? You can't replace we know with a pronoun. If it's a pronoun, that means really there's no real verb in there. It looks like a verb. It might feel like a verb. It might sound like a verb. But just like we spent last week fighting and stressing and being worried about, right? Like if this is why I said focus on the noun phrases. If you can replace the whole thing with a noun phrase, it can't be a verb. Now, like I said, keep going deep in English grammar and we can talk about what this is and why this isn't a verb, even though it looks like a verb. But in this class, you don't need to worry about telling me what that is. All you need to understand is that whole phrase could be replaced with a pronoun. That means it's got to be acting like a noun phrase. Make sense? And it's horrible and it's horrible. All right, I mean, like, and it's scary and difficult. But again, like, even in, I just want to say it one more time. If all of the words can be replaced by a pronoun, it's got to be a noun phrase. It's got to be a noun phrase. Okay. Oy, oy, oy.
So is there only one sentence?
Well,
I mean,
now
like one independent and one dependent?
Yes, exactly correct.
Okay.
And again, I'm going to kind of blow your minds a little bit. As
No,
is
don't
as,
do it, please.
okay. Well, this isn't, I don't need to blow it too bad. Is as a fanboy.
Oh, yeah.
So what is this sentence really?
Compound.
Thank you.
Professor?
Yes, tell me.
If the sentences like there's two clauses, if the two clauses doesn't separate with a coordinate in conjunction, so it is a simple sentence or it's a
Compound.
compound sentence.
Ask one more time, Luma, because I think I know what you're saying, but ask one more time.
Okay, Professor. I said so. If there is one sentence, so it is like two clauses, but but the clauses doesn't separate with coordinate in conjunction. So this sentence is a simple sentence or a compound sentence.
What you just described is, I'm going to delete this, but what you just described is actually not grammatically correct. Luma is saying what happens when you have two independent clauses, but there is not a conjunction.
Yes.
That's called a comma splice, and it's not grammatically correct, right? So that'd be like this. And I'm just going to keep it easy. I'm going to make this, I'm going to call this NP a pronoun, okay? We already know it. And sorry, I can't see this one.
It opens.
Thank you.
Sorry, we cannot use only comma to
No.
separate two clauses?
No. If you're just learning this now, congratulations. You are further ahead in English writing than many American high school students. Like that, what you just said, Mariana, that rule that you just learned I think 70, I teach 325 and 350. 70% of the comma errors that I see are comma splices. I mean, like it's
Oh, wow.
it's really helpful, this thing we're talking about right now. This, I'm going to say, I mean, you will do it. I mean, again, American-born students do this all the time. So I'm kind of being funny when I say, don't do it, right? Like this is not ever grammatically correct. You have to have, you have to have the coordinating conjunction. Or you can do it this way, period, new sentence, right? That's fine too. That's fine too. But like we talked about, and like you did for this analysis that you stressed and worked so hard on, at 310, 320 level, if you have a whole paragraph of just simple sentences that are not connected with conjunctions, it starts to feel very boring and very basic, right? We already know it. It opens the world network. I like the world network. It is so good. That is really nice. I mean, by 310 and 320, we're doing more than that. Right? You guys
Okay, I already know that I have mistakes in my assignment.
That's why you get to do it twice and you get more points, Mariana. And Lailuma, thank you for an amazing question. And actually, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to make a different slide just so that this idea is clear. And then I heard people asking, we'll go there. Give me 1 second while I make a new slide for you guys. I swear, you guys, this is the most, it is the most common mistake that I see in writing sentences. We already know it, comma, it opens the new world network. This slide, remember, for people who aren't here and watching, this is an example of a comma splice. Don't do it. You can't do it because you need a coordinating conjunction. Please, people who are asking questions, what do we got?
Me.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Professor, the clause from the word house, the technology developed so fast.
Yeah.
I confused with the dependent clause because in our lesson tutorial 3 on page 50, they explain about noun clauses. Connect with some words like when, where, whether, why, how. So I confuse these noun clauses. So when we clause with the words how, when, where, for example, this is dependent clause.
Yes, I completely understand. Just remember, again, we're not going to go really, really deep on this. It's why if you go back and look at is tutorial 3 about verbs? Or I think tutorial 2 might be about verbs. Remember, there are so many things in English that look like a verb. Your brain, you're all such good students. You see, develops, third person singular S, and there's a noun before it. It looks like a verb. It looks like a verb, right? We talked about this with ing forms for the gerund. We talked about this with infinitive forms. We're going to talk about infinitive and gerund in the next couple of weeks. But just because it looks like a verb doesn't mean it's a verb. And that's a higher level rule, right? Like if it's not a verb, it can't be a clause, even if it has how or when or why. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I know this is hard. When we start to use our own sentences, it's hard. And because you're great students, you want to know now, okay, but if this isn't a verb, what is it? And I'm telling you, don't worry about it right now. Take 320. You know what I mean? Like you have to keep going to sort of more deep level with it. But the rule I, again, really want you to understand here is because
Okay,
this
but
whole thing, tell me.
if you take develops like part of speech, it's a verb, yeah? Or
No,
no?
that's what I'm saying. Remember, Mariana, context is everything. And again, I don't want to spend too much time here because instead of, I'll say it again. I don't want you to feel like you need to know what everything that looks like a verb actually is. But are you with me, at least, Mariana, on some things that look like verbs aren't verbs? For example, running is fun. Running, ing, it looks like a verb, but it's a gerund. It's the subject of the sentence, right? So if that makes sense to you, all I'm saying is in English, there are lots of examples of this, that things look like a verb, but in the context of the sentence, they don't act like a verb. Does that make sense?
But Professor,
Okay,
I
but
have a
what part
question.
of speech is running?
But in my simple example,
Subject?
running,
Okay, but
so because it's subject, what part of speech does it have to be?
it's a noun.
Thank you.
Oh.
She looked, I don't know if you guys can see her. Mariana looked angry when she was like, it's a noun? Yes, it's a noun. It's a noun. It's a
Professor,
noun.
I
Tell
have a
me.
question. It's about the Mariana's question. When
Let's
we
go.
see like develops, it was inside the noun phrase. And when
Yep.
we just break to each words to parts, and what can we say for develops?
You mean you're asking me what part of speech is
Yep,
developed?
yep.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I don't want to answer that question right now. Save it for 320 because it's really scary. The answer to that is really deep and scary. And instead of worrying about trying to identify every part of speech that everything that looks like a verb is, I just want us all to understand sometimes things that look like a verb aren't verbs. And that is important because it will help you identify if something is a clause or a noun phrase. That's yes, Feruza, I still see you. What's up?
I know, because I'm asking this question why when we analyze, I notice it, I have many this kind of words and I didn't know what kind of part of speech, and I put, of course, they are verb.
Sure, that's all good. So that's totally fine. And the other, I didn't mean, and I want to add one more thing. If you love grammar like I do, and I think some of you do, like Varvara was writing about how she loves grammar, it's like a puzzle, it's fun for her. Come to office hours if you can. We can spend a lot of, we can talk one-on-one about your individual examples, but I don't want to scare the whole class. Do you know what I mean? Because for 320, it's not important for you to identify what everything that looks like a verb is in the sentence. It's more important for me, for this class, for you to understand what's a clause and what's a phrase. And if it can be replaced with a pronoun, it's a phrase. That's where I want us to be today. Does that make sense, Feruza?
Okay, thank you.
Or if you can't come to office hours, even send me an email. I can do my best to explain it. You can send me, someone did that in this class, sent me a sentence. They were like, Jeff, what's going on in this sentence? I'll do my best to reply via email too, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Excuse me,
yeah,
Professor,
of course. And I
have
saw,
question. Excuse me,
sure,
Professor.
please, get in there. Yeah, go for it. Yes, please. Who's talking? Alexei, Konstantin, yes.
Yes, Professor. For example, if in the beginning of the sentence we put words such as moreover, or for example, and so on. Do these words change type of sentence or no?
Great
For
question.
example, moreover, I go in so on. No,
Yeah.
no, understand that?
No, I totally understand. Yeah. So that, or like in this sentence, Constantine, right? Through this language, comma, what's going on? What is this? Moreover, comma, however, comma, last year, comma. So again, we will do this in the chapter that's in language power. That's all about commas. Professor Ferris calls this, and I'll put it here. So again, if you want to go deep, come hang out with me, but I don't want to scare my people who don't want to go deep, because this is not the most important thing for 310 level. But this right here, we're going to call this is a prepositional phrase, really, right? This is called an introductory element or a sentence adverbial. Now, Jeff, you just said that this is a prepositional phrase. Why are you calling it an adverb? Well, the argument here is that if you put this before the sentence, it modifies everything that comes after it. So in that case, it is still functioning. It is still changing the meaning of the verb, which means that it's changing the whole meaning of the sentence. So last week, comma, we went to the store, right? So it's a great question, Constantine. What is last week? What's going on there? So, but again, for us, for 310 level, I think the best way to think about this is it's this introductory element. It's not a clause. It doesn't have, it's got a lot of nouns, right? But it's got a noun, but no verb. And you put a comma after it. And we do this all the time. And this is important for 310. Last week, comma, 2 years ago, comma, frequent here, or like Constantine's example, moreover is a,
For example,
I'm going to say, for example, and I'm going to say, moreover, it's just one word, is an adverb. Frequently is definitely an adverb, right? Frequently.
Professor, if I put this type of words before simple sentence, will count the sentence like simple or no?
Great question. No, it will still be a simple sentence, Constantine, because it's not a clause, right? It's not a clause. There's no verb. There's no verb, and there's nothing that even looks like a verb in there, right? Yeah.
Only phrase.
Yes, thank you. Exactly, Barbara. Exactly. Like I said, I'm going to say that this, through this language, is a preposition. I would analyze this as a prepositional phrase. Here's the preposition. Here's the noun phrase. That's the object of the preposition. But again, some teachers, some linguists will argue that this prepositional phrase, when you make it an introductory element, acts like an adverb that modifies the meaning of the clause that comes after it. But if you're like, Jeff, what are you talking about? Don't worry about what I just said. It's not that important. Focus on Constantine's question. If you have the word however, comma, and then a simple sentence after it, it's still a simple sentence. This class, you do love grammar like I do. I love it. It's exciting. Yeah. Okay, are we good with this sentence? I've got one more I want to look at, but then just for time, I want to make sure we get to our verbs. Any other questions about this sentence?
About the word as.
As.
Yes,
Yeah.
I confuse with the
Great question.
As.
Subordinator.
Yep, I agree. So if it's a subordinated
conjunction.
Yes. Our lesson, if we have the conjunct subordinator stand before the inner clause, so that clause become the dependent clause.
Okay, but watch. So this hold on one second. Okay, the reason is this.
It can come before the dependent or before independent.
That's what I was going to say. And again, the rule here is mostly because it's a fanboy, right? It's mostly a fanboy, and it's because it's coordinated conjunction. But what I think the rule that you're talking about is this. This is the rule. So you could start the sentence like this and then put a comma after it. And here's where I don't, again, English, this is why I don't do this type of thing on a quiz to scare you guys. Now, is because a fanboy?
No, fanboy.
No, right? Because is not a fanboy. So this would be, yep. And actually, I'm sorry, Feruza, because it's a fanboy, it's coordinating. Now, again, this is why you see how real sentences get much messier than examples from the textbook. This is one thing, if I can just share my personal opinion, I think this is kind of stupid, like that as is a fanboy, so it's a coordinating conjunction, but because is not a fanboy, so it's not a coordinating conjunction. So the conjunction you choose will actually change whether it's dependent or independent. Again, you start to see how powerful each word in your sentence is. But again, that's why on a quiz, I will never ask you, is because you know what I mean? I'm not trying to trick you guys. I'm really just trying to show you how the rules of English grammar come together, and they're really tricky. they're really tricky. And that's also why for a writing like this, grammar assignment, I will tell you what mistake it is and let you fix it and give you your points, okay? Rangatar is like smiling. You're doing good. Wherever you say this is crazy, just let it go, take a breath, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? Like when we hit a certain point, we're kind of just talking about the rules of grammar for fun, because this is most important for the sentences you write, right? None of this matters if you can't write grammatical sentences. It doesn't matter if you can't say, so is this a dependent or an independent clause in this? Who cares? I mean, all that matters is that you understand these rules and then you feel more confident writing sentences. That's the most important thing. And you did hear Professor Jeff's true opinion. I hate fanboys. I hate that that's the only list of coordinating conjunctions. I think that that's crazy, but those are the rules. Those are the rules. And your parts of speech are great. And this is definitely a noun phrase. So let's look at one more. Oh, we did this one. Yeah, let's look at this one. Same thing. In the beginning of this semester, I thought it was very difficult to understand grammar in this method, but it was an easy way. The student identified this sentence as compound, said that there's a dependent clause. I think there was just could have been an error when I copied and pasted this. So let's just finish this, even if we think there are errors. What do we think? Let's start with, is it a compound sentence?
Hold on.
No.
Fanboys,
Complex.
fanboys.
Compound,
Yeah,
yep.
because of but.
Yeah.
Compound.
I heard Linda saying yes because of but, and I agree. So it's a compound sentence. What do we have?
But two independent.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Two clauses.
That's right. So what are the subjects?
I and it.
No way.
Who said no way?
Me. I see 3 clauses.
Where?
Where?
I thought it is very difficult to understand grammar in this method, and it was
It's a
an
phrase.
easy way.
It's
No.
phrase.
To understand is infinitive, not
Thank
verb.
you. This
Yeah.
is good for you, Mariana. This is
Noun
what.
phrase.
This is the whole point of the paper, Mariana. If it's not about getting it right or wrong. It's understanding, okay, this is something that's weird or strange or hard for you to understand. This is why, if this doesn't make sense, Mariana, go back and look at the noun phrase pages in language tutorial. If you can replace it with a pronoun, it's a phrase. If you can replace it with a pronoun, it's a phrase. For example, we know, this is really good from what we talked about last week, because let's see. Okay, because we're saying this is a noun phrase, right? This starts the verb phrase. This is going to look very strange, but we know this can't be a phrase because we can't replace it with a pronoun, right? It is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let's see. Oh, let's do this. This is how, this I hopefully will make it clear, Mariana. If this were an actual clause, then I'd be able to do this.
Yep.
Right, but I can't break this. I can't break this thing apart. It all functions as one long noun phrase as the object of the verb, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, even though it looks like you've got a noun, even though it looks like it's functioning like a verb, if you can replace the whole thing, it's got to be a phrase. This is called, when you look at this later on in the text, Google, or you could Google this too. Actually, this might be just Professor Ferris. This is called, hey, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Hard, difficult, but does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And stop there. Don't go, Jeff, what is that? What part of speech is? Don't even go there. Just, if you can replace it with something, it's functioning like a noun phrase. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's our independent clause. I thought something, but conjunction. It was an easy way. So we've got I and it, thought and was. A phrase to understand is a prepositional phrase. We delete that. I disagree.
I'm not agreed to phrase to understand the preposition phrase.
I don't agree either. But there is definitely a prepositional phrase in this sentence. Where is it?
In the beginning of this
In the
semester.
beginning of this semester.
I was going to say, it was Constantine's wonderful question. Absolutely. In is the preposition, the beginning in. And again, I want to just keep saying the same thing. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying, Mariana? That's a noun phrase. You can replace the whole thing with something. It's one thing I love about Professor Ferris's book. The ideas sound weird and crazy at first, but once you understand them, they really make things easier. They really, really, really do. I think this something test is such a great way to think about noun phrases. So, and parts of speech, I is a pronoun, we agree?
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Difficult is an adjective?
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Grammar is a noun?
Yep.
Definitely. And this is a determiner?
What is this?
I deleted it, I think. But I'm going to keep this because I think it's really, really important to see. So instead of this, there's still where is a determiner in this sentence? Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, this semester.
This semester? Oh.
That's right. Definitely. That's definitely a determiner. And I think I know this student, and I think this student was confused between pronoun this and determiner this, and this is perfect. This is 100% the correct use of determiner this. So great job. Questions? Let's do verbs. It's easier. Yes, it's easier and less scary. Tell me, get in.
Do like this. So I had and I still have many problems in grammar. So in this case, I had is gonna be like a phrase or like clause or not.
Which did I delete? Did I delete the thing you're talking about?
No, professor, it's my example.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, let's do a shorty. Can you tell me again, what was your example sentence?
I had and I still have many problems in English. So in this case, I had is a clause or not.
Which one? Oh, that's a really interesting example.
The first one.
So how many clauses, I'll ask you, Leluma, how many clauses do you think are in this sentence?
I think 2 clause, so I don't know.
It's tricky. What do you guys
How
think?
I had as a clause too.
What do you guys think?
I think 2 clauses.
Yeah.
Analyze the comma between the have and
I-
my.
Yeah, I think what's tricky is this. What's missing is the noun phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Have is a transitive verb. It wants an object. We want to know what you have. But again, you guys are just amazing because these questions you're asking are, like I said, when I was studying linguistics, there are people with doctorates who are asking what's going on in this. You know what I mean? Like, is this a clause? I still have. It's.
No, Professor.
Tell me.
No need the object because object she has many problem in
Yeah.
English that
Again.
her no need the comma.
Yeah.
Why do you need comma? Yeah. Why do you need comma after
Yeah.
have?
Again, you see, this is where the deep structure of grammar fights with the reality of writing, right? Like, and speaking, because exactly what you just said, Ramkar, is exactly correct. Again, I'm imagining my professors at UC Davis saying, Jeff, there's a secret noun phrase in there. It's clear that this hidden noun phrase, this invisible noun phrase is exactly what comes after it. But again, then, and that's great. I love that analysis. And if you say, Jeff, this is compound, 2 independent clauses.
Excuse me, Professor.
Tell
This
me.
sentence is long, so I just said the beginning. This is a long sentence, Professor.
Well, you start to see how even with a short sentence, the grammar can get very complex, right? This is a really short sentence, and we're asking really cool and interesting and weird questions about the clauses going on here, right? So if your analysis is that this is 2 independent clauses, which is I had many problems.
Mm-hmm. And I still have, and I have many problems.
And the second one is I, and then and is the conjunction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You mean that second clause is into first clause? That's why we use comma.
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. That the argument here is, and now we're really going deep, you guys. This is like, I think this is, again, there are Americans who have no clue what we're talking about right now. It's true. It's totally true. But I would say the reason that we have commas here is when you start to use the language, which again is why I love Professor Ferris's book. She's all about in use, right? In context, in use. When you start to use the language to sort of make up for the fact that you can have invisible, in this case, it's an invisible object, right? Like I still have them, I still have problems, I still have many problems. When you have an invisible object, one way that we make up for that when it comes to writing is with punctuation. And that's why you see in a written sentence like this, you'll see these things offset. Offset means in between commas. Because well, I don't know, but for me, as the native speaker in the room, this I had and I still have many problems in English, this is never correct. Never correct.
So, Professor, if the sentence continue, just it's the beginning of the sentences, so it's gonna be correct.
You want to keep going?
Yeah, I'm not sure because this sentence is in my test. So.
That's okay. I'll get to look at it.
Okay, so after English, so I put. Okay, so do I have to say or no?
No, go. You can just wait. We'll look at it more one-on-one. I want to make sure we get to verbs. But I love, actually, like, I'm going to stop here because I don't want people to get so scared that their brain shuts down. All I want to say is this. I love teaching this class because you start to see, in my opinion, some textbooks lie to you, right? When they tell you, oh, like this is always this, or this rule is always true. That's not true. When you start to see how English is actually used when you're writing, you see it gets really complicated really fast. So even more than, I'll say it as many times as I need, instead of, do you know what every part of a speech in every sentence is? No, what I really want you to do is start to feel that sentence looks weird. I don't know what's going on. Okay, that looks like a clause, but wait, can I use the something test? Okay, is it coming after the verb? Is that the object of the verb? Wait, is that the object of a preposition? That's the type of thinking that I want you to start doing. And then one-on-one, we can, like I said, Lailuma, when I look at your paper, I can go deep, right? We can look at the specific details of your exact sentences, okay? All right.
One more question.
Ah, okay, please.
If I say, no, the sentence, I can say that I can swim, for example. It's a simple question, a simple sentence because I can say just
Something.
I can say it.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep. And I love Mariana, of course, used that example. That, like I've said many times, that T-H-A-T is one of the most scary, weird, powerful, confusing grammar words in English. So again, Mariana, just say it. I love good breath. Very good breath. For this class, right? For this class, for anything that means your grade or your points or anything, all that matters for this class is if you can replace it with a pronoun or something, it's a noun phrase. If you want to go deep and study what's going on behind the scenes, go to 320 or come to office hours with me, okay? But you already got it. You already, your example is perfect. Wait, I can replace it with a pronoun, so that means it's a simple sentence. In this class right now, yes, the answer is yes. When you get your PhD in linguistics, you can go much deeper than that, okay?
I think 310 it's enough for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say she looks really excited about studying linguistics. Okay, let's do verbs, you guys. Can we do some verbs? Take a break from clauses?
Yeah.
Okay. I love this class. Okay, so today I want to introduce the present perfect and the present perfect progressive. Of course, when we talk about the present perfect, we also have to talk about the simple past. So that's what we're going to introduce in this activity. So I want to do, I want to do one thing. So in the chat, I'm also going to paste, hold on one second. In the chat, I'm going to add this file so that if you want to open these pages that I'm projecting, if you want to open them and look at them on your own computer, you can find them in many different places. But first, let me, oops, hold on one second. There we are. So in the chat right now, it's still downloading, but you can download this and look at it right now, like I said, or you can find it in Canvas. If you go here to Professor Jeff's course materials, grammar and beyond 3 verb tenses, or you can download it in the chat. So options for you to look at it, whatever way you want to look at it. But here's what I want to do first. I was thinking about how to do this. I don't think there's a perfect way to do it. What I want to do is just project this on the screen for you to look at right now. Or like I said, look at it however you want. Just go through the reading. I want to give you guys about, I don't know, 5 minutes and see if that's enough time. Go through the reading and then just by yourself on your own. You can think about B. We're not going to talk about B. But then answer these questions 1, 2, and 3 here for C for notice. Okay? So all I want you to do, read through this and then be ready to answer questions C. I'll give you 5 minutes. If you need more time, we can add more time. Make sense? Okay, people are already reading. I'll stop talking for 5 minutes. Bye.
Excuse me, Professor. Hello?
Yes, Banas, what's up?
Yeah, I couldn't find, I don't know where.
So check the chat. I posted it in the chat. You can look at it on your screen. There's lots of places it lives. Can you see the chat?
Yes.
And so I posted the file in chat. You should be able to download it right there.
I got it.
The chat. Mm.
Let me know if you still need help on us, okay?
My computer doesn't work. I am on phone, maybe that's why.
Okay, maybe, but can you see the screen? Because I'm putting it on the screen too, Banas.
Mm. Yeah, I saw on the screen.
Good. And then before we end class, Banas, I'll show you where it lives in Canvas so that you can find it later, okay?
Okay.
Take another minute or two, whatever you got. I'll bring it right back. I'm just going to do one thing real quick so that I can type the answers into the doc. Okay. Okay, now remember the instructions here say find the sentences in the article and complete them. So all you have to do is find, it's not about testing, do you know which one is the right one? It's just find these sentences in the reading, right? Okay, so before we go on and sort of look at this together, just open it up again. You can type in the chat, you can say out loud, how many different verb tenses do we really see? Are they focusing on for us in this reading?
3.
Okay, what do you notice? How many, or which ones in particular? What do we see the most?
The most present perfect.
Good, I definitely see present perfect. Feduza is saying 3, I agree. Present perfect, what else?
Past progress.
Past simple.
Good. Yes, I heard past simple. That is exactly correct. We're going to find examples if you're going, where are they? Where are they, Jeff? Past simple. And the other one?
Past perfect.
Present perfect progressive.
Good. Yes. And it's right up here in the top. So I know we have more examples than this, but I'm trying to point you to notice, right? This activity in this chapter is trying to show you the clear difference between simple past and present perfect. And then the difference between present perfect and perfect progressive, right? That's kind of the rules we're going to start talking about today. I saw someone post in the chat. I want to make sure. Good. Malkova says 3. I agree. So how about just right at the beginning? Some people have said that a successful person is like a sore thumb. What tense do we have here? Have said?
Present perfect.
Yes.
Present perfect.
Perusa says present perfect. I agree. And how about for some time researchers have been trying to answer? What tense do we have there?
Present perfect progressive.
Thank you. And then we'll go down a little bit. Line 9. Although he died in 1948, what do we got?
Simple past.
Excellent. Good. So again, I just want to point your attention to these three verb tenses and what's going on in the paragraph. So if we look at C, we've got some examples here. And again, we're just looking for what was in the paragraph. It says, although he died in 1948. Yes, question, Mariana.
I just want to know, progressive, it's like continuous?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, different textbooks, some textbooks from the UK, textbook from the US, textbook from Australia, they have different words. But if you see progressive or continuous, I'm going to type this in the chat too. Just so that everybody can see it. Progressive and continuous are the same. This means ing. Great question, Mariana. Thank you.
Okay.
So number one, although he died in 1948, his life and principles, people all over the world, A, B, or C?
C.
Good.
C.
Yes,
C.
in the text, right? In the text here, and that's this example, have been inspiring. Good. How about number two? His example, movements for civil rights and freedom from around the world ever since, A, B, or C?
B.
What line is this in?
Has guided.
Where?
B.
No,
B.
C.
See?
It's
C,
right.
no?
Oh, has been guiding.
C, Professor.
But Feruza, good. But Feruza,
But
you're
Professor, the one more thing, can I say the
Sure.
present perfect and present perfect continuous in the number 2 question, we can use either one because it's not an action, it's about statement. If it's not action, we can use both are. If it's only action, we can use only present perfect progressive because it cannot be, the state cannot take progressive.
good. Well, I love it. And I'm so happy you're in this class. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about, right? Because the rule you're explaining there is why this can feel so difficult. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I'm a native English speaker and you know me by now. I'll always tell you my opinion about this stuff. So I'll teach you the rule and I'll also give you my opinion about how this shows up in real life. But first we'll do number 3. Gates, the Microsoft Corporation in 75. A, B, or C?
A.
Found.
Good. I hear lots of people saying for this one, just the simple past tense, right? Great. Okay. So we're going to go to the next page if you're following through on your own or you downloaded it on your screen. So this is exactly what Feruza was talking about here. And this is going to talk about how to use the present perfect tense and what is the difference between the present perfect tense and the present perfect progressive, right? So why would you say has guided or has been guiding? What is the difference there, right? So just follow along with me. Listen, I am going to read through the rules and then I'll answer questions and we'll just keep practicing, okay? So here's the rules. Grammar presentation. The present perfect tense is used to describe an event that has happened at an unspecified time in the past. And I'll tell you right now, Feruza, for your example, the way that this book likes to talk about it, this is really important distinction. Unspecified time. And it's why time words like since and for are very important, not just in this textbook, but also just in real normal California life, okay? So events that happened at an unspecified time in the past. This event may be completed or it may not be completed and may continue into the future. Here are the 2 examples they give us. Winners of the Gandhi Peace Prize have contributed to world peace. Sociologists have studied the definition of success for a long time. And again, this is just a little more depth to the present perfect tense. If you're in 310, you already know, oh, what's the difference between the simple past and the present perfect? Oh, present perfect started in the past, continues into now. Okay, absolutely. But we also, just like we sometimes use the present tense or the present continuous to talk about the future, we do get this feeling of winners of the Gandhi Peace Prize have contributed to the world it's probably normal or okay to think, well, the things that those winners contributed probably is still helping the world, right? It's still going to continue into the future. So again, a little more depth, like I'm saying here. Now, can you guys hear that lawnmower? Is it loud? I think, should I close my window? Is it too loud? Can you guys hear it?
Yep.
It's driving me nuts. Hold on. Okay. What a world we live in. Okay, 2.1, using the perfect tense. So there's sort of some general rules that this chapter is going to talk to us about. So the first one, A, use the present perfect to describe an action or event that happened at an unspecified time in the past. Researchers have discovered similar traits in successful people. We don't know when, we don't know what day, what year, what month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the adverbs already, ever, never, and yet or not yet can be used with the present perfect tense. Again, you're going to hear me talk about this with verb tenses all the time, you guys, but time words and adverbs, they are your friend for understanding which verb tense to use. They are so important, okay, for tense. So, has she received an award yet? Yes, she's already received 2 awards. No, she hasn't received one yet. Have you ever thought about the meaning of success? I've never thought about it. Okay, so time words, big clues. Unspecified time in the past, very possible that we're going to use the present perfect. Rule number 2, rule B. Use the present perfect for actions or events that started in the past and continue into the present. All of you guys know this rule. It's probably your favorite rule about the present perfect tense. So how long has she been a successful business person? I know you already know this, but this question, how long has she been a successful business person? Was she successful in the past?
Yep.
Thank you. Mariana did not sound confident, but she was still correct. And I'm going to check the chat while we're doing this too to make sure that people who want to type can answer their responses. I hate this about Canvas sometimes, guys. I lose my chat. It drives me crazy. Bear with me, you guys. There we go. There's Feruz's examples. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so was she successful? So how long has she been a successful business person? Was she successful in the past?
Yes.
Is she still successful now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, she is. So more rules. 4, since, so far, and still help link between the past and the present. Other common expressions are all day, all my life, all year. Again, big clues telling you, use the present perfect, right? So again, if you're writing and you say my whole life, all year, all day, whatever, big clues for yourself when you're writing and speaking. Oh, maybe I should use the present perfect. So examples, she's owned a successful business for 15 years. They've worked here since May. I still haven't learned to relax on weekends. Still is a big, big, big clue, you guys. Big, big, big clue. They've been in the lab all day. He has lived here all his life. Make sense? You guys with me?
Yep.
Cool. We're going to practice in a second, but just to be sure we're good at the rules. C, rule number 3, use the present perfect to describe a recent action. And I'm going to say these examples right away, just and recently. And if you're in the United States, especially for speaking, you guys, just is, I just is a big clue. Big clue, big clue. So breaking news, the judges have awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I have just discovered the right answer. He has recently given money to the foundation. Now again, just is one of those words that you might be using the present perfect tense, but I'll ask your guys' opinion. I'm going to type this one out here. Is there a difference in these 2 sentences?
Yes.
What is it?
I've just found it. I just found
No.
Or let me ask this. Actually, okay, so is there a difference in meaning? We'll go there. Is one of these right and is one wrong? Are they both right? Are they both wrong? What do we think?
Both
Both
right,
right.
but meaning is different.
Is it? I'll say one thing. This is the truth.
Oh my God, you are like a British grammar.
Yes. And again, especially for, I know a lot of you guys, I mean, especially my Afghan students, you're probably used to British grammar too. So this is another thing that's very difficult for you guys when you come to study in the US. If you studied English, even in Russia, isn't the preference, Russian and Eastern Europe, isn't the preference towards British English, I think? I don't know. If anyone wants to answer, they can. Now, this is like Feduza was saying. And again, it's why I don't teach this grammar class like a grammar quiz class, because English grammar at this level is really complex and it's hard to know what's right and wrong. These are both grammatically perfectly correct. And Feduza is correct. There is a slight difference in meaning. But again, I'll just keep saying it. You guys are going to be, you know more about grammar, English grammar, in the 6 weeks that we have been working together than most people who graduate from American high schools. We don't teach this stuff to American high school students, okay? But so I'm mentioning that because the difference here is small, but it can feel important. I've just found out is more British, and the meaning is that you're emphasizing the recency of when it happened. So let me say this. Instead of recency, we could just say emphasizing when. If you say, I just found out, this is emphasizing the action. So I'm going to do this. The emphasis of the meaning is kind of, you see the difference? In this first one, it's emphasizing just, and in the second one, it's emphasizing what happened, found out. Now again, if you're writing on a test or you're talking to someone from Sacramento, or if you're writing in an essay or talking to someone from Sacramento, they probably won't even feel the difference. But why I'm teaching this to you is so that when you go to write, right? Like if you want to go continue, get a degree, when you go to write, you have choices for what meaning you want to say in your own writing. Questions? Good, let's practice. And then because these time words, like I told you, are so important, and you'll get to practice them a lot in this section, we have special rules just for the present perfect with for and since. So use for to show the duration, length of time of an event that continues into the present. She hasn't worked here for several years, many years, 10 weeks, 10 months, whatever. We're talking about length of time, right?
And still working.
Well, yes, and in this example, though, still not working, right? She hasn't worked here.
Not working.
Yeah, she hasn't worked here for several years, and she's still not working now. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. B, in a negative sentence, the preposition in may replace for. She hasn't seen her in several years.
Mm-hmm.
These are preposition rules, and one reason I love this book is, again, instead of understanding this real perfectly, you start to see how the sentences get put together, right? There's this thing in English, in all languages, called, this just means what words go together often, right? So that's why, again, it's really helpful that this book is saying sometimes she hasn't seen her in 10 years. I haven't talked to my brother in 2 days. I have, but again, how about this? If I said, is one correct, one incorrect? Are they both correct? What do we think?
Both are correct.
Second one is correct.
Feruza saying both are correct. Linda says the second one is correct. I'm here to just make you so happy. Life is so beautiful. They're both correct.
Amen.
So again, that's one good news about some of these things, right? Prepositions are horrible. Prepositions are cruel. But in some of these examples, you get to see sometimes you can choose more than one preposition. So I want you to start to notice these things, right? For, when you use since, sometimes for, sometimes in, and both may be correct. Any questions?
Professor, can we
Please.
use like does instead of has, or it's different type of sentence when we use does, like she doesn't work here? It's a different type of sentence.
She doesn't, she does. But what tense do we have here?
Simple present.
Thank you. Yeah. So Lailuma, that's a great question, but it's not really connected to this example because in the simple present tense, we don't need to worry about a preposition or a length of time or duration, right? Because you're just making a simple statement of fact, right? She
It's
does.
different. It's different sentence, Professor. Yes.
Yes, it's a different tense. That's the most important thing, Lailuma. It's a different tense. You're just making a statement of fact.
Okay.
That'd be like this, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm picking on her. Maybe she has done her work. But this is the same. So even if the verb itself changes, right? Here, do is the main verb. Talk is the main verb. Even if the verb changes, in and for are both correct with this way that we're talking about the present perfect, right? When we're talking about negative statements about a length of time. Does that make sense, Lailuma?
Professor.
Yes, tell me. Okay, let's finish and then practice, or finish these rules and then practice. So the last one, use since with specific dates or times to show the start of an event that continues into the present. She has lived here since last year. She hasn't worked here since 2008. And again, what you start to notice here is when you get a specific date or a specific number, we've got since, we've got in and for if we got a more general time frame, right? Since a specific day, since a specific year, since a specific month, yes. For many years, several days, whatever. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Let's practice. So this, we're just gonna, same thing, I wanna give you guys a few minutes to look at this and I'm gonna zoom in so that you can see better. Exercise 2.1, uses of the present perfect. So this says, read about Blake Mycoskie, a business person and a humanitarian. Label the bold and underline verbs you, unspecified, see, the time that continues, or are, according to the use of the present perfect. So we're instead of making the verbs, we're practicing the rules about what are the situations, what are the times where we use these tenses, right? So I'll read the paragraph, read along with me, and then let's just be ready to answer if it's you, unspecified, see, continues into the present, or are, recent action. So Blake Mycoskie is an American business person. He started a shoe company called Tom's in 2006. He sells a special type of shoe, the alpargata. He discovered the shoe in Argentina. Argentinian farmers have worn alpargatas for over 100 years. And again, here it's saying see, right? They've worn them for 100 years and they still wear them now. Recently, experts have discovered a link between children going barefoot and getting certain diseases. Mycoskie has always wanted to help children stay healthy. Therefore, every time someone buys a pair of Tom's shoes, his company gives a free pair of new shoes to a child who needs shoes. Since he started Tom's, Mycoskie has given over 1 million pairs of alpargatas to children in South Africa, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Argentina, Guatemala, Haiti, and the United States. Not long ago, Mycoskie started a shoe factory in Ethiopia. He has also created a special shoe that helps prevent a serious foot disease. Mycoskie's favorite quote comes from Gandhi, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." So remember, we're trying to, all of the verb tenses are correct. The present perfect is great in all of these sentences. We're just trying to see why. So is it because of an unspecified time, because of time that continues into the present, or a recent action? So sentence 5 here, recently experts have discovered a link between children going barefoot. What do we got? You, see, or are?
Are, recent action.
Beruza says are. Anybody agree, disagree? Mariana's muted, but I think she said she agrees.
Because we have a signal word.
Good. What's the signal word?
Recently.
Thank you. That is correct.
Not
Recent.
CR.
Oh, thank you.
Not CR.
Got it. Thank you. Got it. A link between children going barefoot and getting certain diseases. Great. Mykoski has always wanted to help children stay healthy. You, C, or R?
You.
Joseph, I'm going to mute you just so we can hear. Oh, hold on. I'm going to mute everybody. How about this? Even Feruza, can you just type in the chat? I'll follow in the chat if you guys want. So U, C, or R. Mykoski has always wanted to help children stay healthy. Feruza says you, unspecified. Amina says you. Let me ask this. Does he still want to help children stay healthy?
Yes.
So is it U or C?
C. It's maybe C.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
I think so. I think it's emphasizing he has always wanted to help people and he still wants to help people right now.
And unspecific time also can be continue.
Well, let's look at the example of unspecific time.
There is a just different, we cannot use here present perfect continuous because it's not the action, it's like statement. So that's why we can only use present perfect.
Instead, well, let's wait for present perfect continuous. And I think so. If Feruza is saying this looks like you because it's not clear when he started to want, is that your idea, Feruza? It's not clear when he started to want. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. But again, do you also see what I'm saying? The idea is he wanted to and he still wants to continues in the present. You know what I'm saying? Love it. Therefore, every time someone buys a pair of Tom's shoes, his company gives a free pair of new shoes to a child who needs shoes. Since he started Tom's, Mykoski has given over 1 million pairs of alpargatas. What do we got? U, C, or R?
I don't know, maybe you.
It's R, maybe R.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. At the beginning, we get this. Since he has started Tom's. So does this give us, is that a specific time or not a specific time?
No, not specific time.
Well,
It's in the beginning, it's specific time, I think.
It's not specific, but it's more specific than maybe this one. Hold on. I'm convinced by Feruza. I think it should be this. And the examples like this, I'm going to go back to oops, sorry, hold on. I'll go back. Here, I'm going to say this. So these highlighted words, for over 100 years, since he started Tom, and recently is here the clue for recent action. I think since he started Tom's, even though we don't know what year, what day, what time, that makes it more specific or connected to a specific time than this example where Mykoski has always, I think you're right, Feruza, this is really general. This is really, really unspecified time in the past. And we have a specific point here in the past for when he started and continues into the present. So since he started Tom's, Mykoski has given, that's C, time that continues into the present. Not long ago, Mykoski started, so what do we got here?
Simple past.
Yes, exactly. Oh, what did it do there?
Because it started and ended.
Yeah, you can only, and Feruza is pointing out something good. There are certain verbs that really can't be in present continuous. You can only start something one time. You can't continue starting something, right? It started and it's done. It started and it's done. And the last one, he has also created a special shoe that helps prevent a serious foot disease. What do we think?
Time, like happening and still continues. Like
is this, yeah, is this specific or not specific?
Not specific. It's like action is important here.
And can you, and this is the same thing like start. Can you create, it's hard to, once you've created something, it's created. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Go on.
But he is still creating the special shoes. He didn't finish to create.
I think now he's making or producing or manufacturing or donating. I don't think he's creating.
Yeah, but I think there is a like important thing is like the action is just, you know, that, yeah, not specific. It's like it's important this is happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm saying it's you. It's unspecified, right? Like there's no date or time frame for this sentence, right? It's just he has created a special shoe. And I know what you're saying, Medusa, but I just think this is one of those verbs where, again, once you create something, it's created. And I think if you wanted to talk about what he's still doing in the present tense or in the present moment, it'd be a different verb. He is making, manufacturing, donating, producing. I think create is like start, basically. Okay, let's do one more activity before we finish.
Oh, I love this one.
I know everybody's like, give me fill in the blanks now. Okay, so the instructions here say complete the interview about success. Use the present perfect form of the verbs in the parentheses. Use contractions when possible. All we're practicing doing is making the present perfect tense, and then you're going to be ready to decide which one to use. So I'll do the same thing. We only got a few minutes. So take a few minutes on your own and then we'll fill in the blanks together, okay? But how would you answer these? That's too far.
How many do we have it like choices to put for blanks? Like 2, 3?
Oh, let's do these together. So here's the interview. Reporter, today we're asking a few people about success. Are you successful? Do you know anyone who is successful? What makes someone successful? Carlos says, my friend Marta is successful. She's wanted to own a restaurant for years, and all we're doing is present perfect. We're just practicing present perfect. The verb is achieved. So what should this be?
She's achieving.
She has achieved. She has achieved.
Thank you, Barbara.
How achieve it? Do we have the signal word now?
No, well, that's the same. That's why these rules are helpful, Feruza, because again, even with time words, you can use the present perfect tense. Do you see what I'm saying?
I know, but can you open this page?
This one?
Okay, she has wanted. This is a true, and she still wants.
Yep.
For restaurant, but we can say she's achieving her goal too.
No.
Why?
Because again, achieved is, I'm going to do an example here.
If we have a more than like choices and present perfect.
You sort of said stative. This is not an example of stative, but this has to do with the verb itself, right? So I know, like, I think this is just about, this is not even really a rule. It's just a native speaker thing. Like, I'm completing the project now. We wouldn't really say this. You'd say, because once you complete a thing, it's done. And it's the same thing once you start something. There's another really famous example here of, this means to create something. So founded. This word to found, it means to create something, right? So this is just thank you. This is just a collocation thing. Like, there are just some verbs in English that do not want to be an ing. They just don't want to be an ing at all. And it has to do, instead of like giving you a full list of it, it's about the feeling of the action, right? Like, in general, I'm not saying this is true or correct. I'm just saying the way we use the language, these things that happen one time and they're done, you're going to put them in the present perfect. So even if, and now she's achieving her goal, I agree, the grammar looks fine, but we just wouldn't say it. And that has to do with the verb itself. And the rule they're explaining here on this page is, when you have words like recently, you can use the present perfect tense. And the time word here is this.
No.
Yep, exactly correct, Feruza. Exactly correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. I love this class. Okay, so we can do the second one. 3 years ago, she bought a restaurant and all we're doing is present perfect. So what?
She has had.
Good. She
Has had.
Perfect. Thank you, Barbara. She has had a successful business ever since. How long?
Have
No.
you knew?
Feruza says.
Has you know.
Have you.
Now.
Have
As you know.
Feruza says, have you knew? Barbara says, has you known?
Have you
Have you know?
New. Not know. Oh, noun.
Noun.
Past participle, yeah.
New, no, new, no, new, known. No, it's hard for me to even say out loud. No, new, known. No, new, known. No, new, known. Good. Next one. Carlos is saying, her for 10 years.
I have
Carlos has known.
her.
Has known.
And Barbara, because it's an interview, he's saying I. So that's why it'd be I have instead of he has. I have.
I not see I. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, Mike, please do not apologize. We're all over the place today. We're doing good. Question, blah, 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 she always be.
Has she been?
Now it's a she, Barbara. So this is exactly what you were saying. Has she always
Been.
Good. So far, that
has been.
Good. Great. So again, so that we see this in context, like an interview, how long have you known Marta? Oh, I've known her for about 10 years. Has she always been interested in food? So far, that's been her only interest. In the past, into now. Questions? Perfect. Okay, because we only have 2 minutes and I want to make sure we get out on time, I want to stop and pause here and I want to make sure I give you lots of opportunities to see where to do this, how to find this, and what to practice with it, okay? So in Canvas, uh-oh, my cat is getting angry, you guys. I know. He is really checking right now. Okay, so if you go to the home page, Professor Jeff's course materials, again, you can download it right now. It's in the chat if you want it, but Professor Jeff's course materials, click this link, Grammar and Beyond 3 verb tenses. You can click this preview, click it and download. Just click right on the link. It'll start to download at the bottom of your screen automatically, right? This is yours to keep. We will continue to use this for at least the next week or 2, okay? So in terms of lessons or things that I want you to do, I put a lot of stuff in Canvas. Lesson 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 are in Canvas. But remember, there's no rush. We're gonna go slow. So what I really want you to do, even if you don't start these lessons yet, guys, just read these activities. Read these activities. Because the first, this right here, see this exercise 2.4? Hold on one second. This lesson 14 in Canvas is just this activity. Okay, so these lessons in Canvas coming up are really just these activities and exercises from the book. So what I'm going to say is, don't start those lessons until you feel comfortable. Take your time. Practice, read through the textbook, read through the pages, go slow before you worry about starting any of the lessons, okay? And again, if you want to talk one-on-one, practice more, email me, text me, come to office hours tomorrow morning. I have my open Zoom hours from 10 to noon. But just download these pages, read them, feel comfortable, and then next week, when we've had some more time to think about them and read them, we can start to practice some really specific examples, okay?
Okay.
Questions?
And exercise 14, I did this and question number 4, I write correct answer, but it shows not correct.
Oh, let's see. If Barbara's already started, you guys. If there's an error in one of the quizzes, I will fix it, Barbara, I promise. Lesson 14, question 4, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'll look at it. Thank you. So I just want to say this again for people who aren't here. I'm talking to you and everybody who's here going, oh my God, Jeff posted 5 lessons. I'm not telling you to do all 5 lessons. I'm telling you, go through the textbook, do as many as you can, and be ready to and bring questions for next week, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Professor, I have a question about the grammar writing one.
Good.
We already submitted for first time, so
yes.
After when you give your comments, can we fix them, or until you give your comments we have to fix them?
Good question.
After.
Wait, I think wait, just wait, right? Like I'm not worried about time. I really, Mariana says after, just wait. I will grade them and give you feedback, especially on the sentence analysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will give you detailed comments on that in a week or less, okay? Feedback on your grammar sentences for the reflection, that might take a little longer because it's harder to give you comments on full paragraphs, but your sentence analysis, just wait for that and then you can resubmit, okay?
Okay.
And again, I know, anyway, I know we're concerned about 2 things, learning and grades. So try not to worry about the grades, okay? So even if it takes some time to go back and update or fix the errors in your grammar writing, you'll get the points, okay? You'll get the points. Other questions? You guys did great. I feel bad that I finished a lot of lessons, you know what, guys? If this, I just want to say, you know me now, right? If this takes 2 or 3 weeks, that's fine. It can take 2 or 3 weeks. I don't want you to feel stressed about having to do all of this in 1 week. That is not my intention, okay? Mariana, I'm looking at you. You look depressed. I like that it's still Mariana's birthday. My birthday, it's going to be my birthday soon, Mariana, next week.
When?
October 5th, Monday. So when I see you Wednesday, that can be my happy birthday sign.
Okay. I'll keep it.
Any questions? You guys are amazing.
I do have a question.
Good, I'm ready, Linda. Go for it.
Yeah, like about self or reflection, the thing that we write already for you about the sentences. Like I like that kind of part.
Bye bye.
Hi, Barbara. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
But I wish you can give us something different from this one, like
Linda.
Something like this idea, right? An idea, self-reflection.
Linda, you've got robot voice. I know that you have... I cannot understand anything. Usually I can understand something. I know you had a question about the self-reflection, but then it was all robot voice. So if you can type in the chat, but I could not hear. Come back. Try again.
Yeah.
Robot. Right, now I hear my own voice like a robot. Type it in the chat, Linda, if you can. I will text you. Perfect. Thank you, Linda. Linda says, I will text you. Please do. Please do. I will respond right away. And thank you for your patience. I know I hate cutting you guys off. I hate saying I can't hear you, but if I can understand you, I'll answer it, but I could not understand you. Other questions? Anybody else?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
It's weird to hear myself in an echo. It's really weird. It's really weird. Okay, well, you're all wonderful, and I love this class. And I know we go slow, but I love it. I think it's really good. I think it's good to go slow and answer these questions. So great work, you guys. You're my crew too, Mariana, Rongtar, and Feruza. You guys are like you go deep, go deep. I love it. It's great. Any other questions? And Alinka, you have a bird. Are you the person with the bird in the back? Alinka?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Big bird, little bird, what you got?
Once, can you please one more time? What do you ask?
Do you have a bird, like a bird at home in the background?
Bird?
B-I-R-D, bird. Someone I could hear a bird in the background. I thought it maybe was your house. No?
No.
Okay. Never mind. No wonder she's confused. Cool. Anything else? Constantine, he's gone, but thank you for his great question. Anything else? I wish I was teaching 320 and you guys could come with me because I really want to talk to you about the different verb forms, but I don't want you to worry about it in this class.
Definitely.
Sounds good. Ania's never taking a grammar class again. And
I
that's
say
fine.
definitely.
Oh, good. Oh, definitely. Okay. Maybe we'll see. There's one teacher who always teaches 320, so I'm the new guy, so I don't get to choose 320. Anything else?
No.
Okay,
Professor,
so
I sent my question, like not my question.
oh, let me check.
Yeah,
Oh, I saw it. That is absolutely fine. That is totally fine. And if anything comes up in the meantime, you know what to do. Just text me or email me.
Thank you. Have
So
a
I'll say
good one.
you too. I'll say one last time. Go slow. Do your best. Go slow. I'm looking at you, Orangutar. Don't be stressed for a week. You don't have to do 5 lessons this week. Go slow.
Thank you.
Oh, I can't.
Have a good night.
You too, Alinka.
Bye.
I leave one question on to your email, but you didn't answer.
When?
One question.
When? What was it? I thought I got all my emails this week. What was going on? Hold on. Let me I'm going to stop recording since it's just the few of us. Hold on.